Eliminate all hostiles.
Welcome back to another episode of Gaming with the Coach. Glad to have you guys here. Today I'm talking about the value of situations and practicing them over and over so that you can get better. Here I'm practicing the tubular assault situation. This is about my 7th or 8th time. I shot this a couple weeks ago. And my intent here is to get better at shooting. As you'll see throughout this episode, I'm missing in situations that I ought to be hitting. Like there, I should have got him on the first round. So what I'm doing when I go through these situations is trying to find a goal that I can reach. For example, wait a second, I think one's coming. See, there's another benefit of playing the situations. You get to listen, you get to hear the little telltale signs that let you know when a bad guy's coming. Anyway, when I'm practicing this round is I wanted to see how far I could go without getting any damage. And I also want to take everybody out simply by shooting. And it's just, it gives you a better opportunity to get more practice. Here I'm trying to get this guy in the cockpit. Notice how the weapon keeps rising? It took 5 spurts to get him. So the one thing I will say in situations is you don't get to choose your operator. So in this case, they give you Ash, and she has a good weapon, but I can't put a stabilizer on it or change the scope. You have to work with what they give you, and that's fine. So what I do when I practice my situations is I try not to use the gadget, in this case, to breach walls or throw grenades. I want to get all the enemies by shooting. I think it forces me to get better at shooting, although I'm going to get taken out an awful lot. Like I said, this is not my first time doing tubular assault, and I keep going back wanting to get further and further without sustaining any damage. So now we got 7 left. Let's go downstairs and pick these guys out. Usually they're in a, if not the same spot, the same general area. So that's something that you can also benefit from here in situations. They won't get any easier than that one, right? And that's exactly where he was the last time I played that round. They do shift, but a lot of times they're in the same spot, like him. Now see, before, when I breached this wall, sometimes the whole floor's got barbed wire. Sometimes the room on the right is totally boarded up and reinforced and has a bad guy in it. So you have to be careful. Now obviously here, it appears to be empty, but I know that somewhere in this section of the plane is where the remaining bad guys are. If I were playing a team match right now, I would use her device to breach that wall on the right instead of just trying to break every door and shoot through it. As you guys practice, make your own goals, right? Like someone's in there, they just shot a flashbang. Make your own goals. What do you want to accomplish? You know, how many bad guys do you think you can get based on a particular level? Can you get greater than 50%? The situations are a great place to practice that. You don't have to depend on anyone else. It's just you against the bad guys. And it will make you get better. in earlier rounds, I did drone these areas because I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm going through the plane, top to bottom. You don't know where they're at. You must use your drones. But at this point, I've played this particular situation enough where I know the general area that the bad guys are going to be in. That's the only reason I'm not droning here. If you look at some of my other episodes, you'll see that I'm a big, big proponent of droning. Aiming while walking is a great way to get a jump on a guy. A little hard to do, takes some getting used to.
Remaining.
So we're still at 100. We got down to 3. That's good for me because watch how quickly you can go from 100 to something a lot less than 100. It doesn't take a lot, especially if you get caught having to do a reload. They flashbang and they're shooting through the flashbang, and they took me down to 48. I should have been shooting there too. Now when you see the reload, if you miss it, just go melee the guy. What a way to win, right? Take your last guy out with a melee. You can do that. So again, guys, keep practicing, do your situations, keep gaming, and have fun. Later.